Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. It is time for Stella. I hope you all have a great drink and ready for a great show. As you can see, I am freshly laid. I just got my hair done today, and when I tell you these braids are tight, like I feel like I have a facelift because she braided me down so good, but I love it so much. Shout out to my girl Mia. She does amazing hair out here in the Memphis area. Hey Inga, hey Eric, welcome to the live. You all, I have a confession. I didn't stop by the liquor store to get a new bottle of Stella Rose. I am on the friendly water because hey, chatter out loud with Danielle. I'm just gonna call you Danielle. Hey girl. Hey Dabu. Oh yes, thank God it's Friday. Confession, a little bit of confession. Y'all remember I told y'all about a week ago I had popped the edible and went like deer face mid live. I don't think y'all caught it, but it's just a feeling that came over me. And I was gonna do the same thing because my homegirl, I ain't gonna shout out her name, but my homegirl went to Vegas and got me some new edibles. And so I was like, I might just pop one tonight and see. But I didn't do it. I said, no, Angie, don't do it. Don't do it again. So I didn't pop one. So I didn't stop by the liquor store either. So I'm just straight sober this evening. But it is what it is. It's Friday. I'm still going to relax. I'm headed out to Memphis in May this weekend. So I'm ready to have a good time and get the weekend popping. So let's get started with these reviews. Danielle Works. Okay, girl, I got you. I got you. Thank you for coming over to the live. Tonight we're supposed to hit on X on the Beach. Another confession. I'm about 2 episodes behind on X on the Beach. So we'll save that for next Friday when I catch up. It was kind of boring. Y'all tell me what y'all think about X on the Beach real quick in the chat because right now it's a slow burn and I haven't been invested into watching it. Did the cheating pastor come up out the ocean yet? Somebody Instagram me, DM me when the lady who was cheating with the pastor, when her ex comes up out the ocean, because that's the only other storyline I care about right now. And then tell me when Mean Glee slaps Jamar, because I want to see that too, since that's what Davon want to put out in the streets. Inga, you don't watch that show either. Well, let's get into the shows that we do watch. I have a lot to say about Survivor 42. I thought wasn't last night, but Wednesday night's episode was a really good episode. And I got some stuff to say. And we're about to get into Homecoming, the New Orleans version. I got a little bit to say about Homecoming. This past week wasn't as good as episode 1, but let's get into it. We don't have to talk about X on the Beach. Homecoming is bad in a good way or bad in a bad way. Eric, let's get into Homecoming. I'm enjoying the series. I really love this new series, Real World, The Homecomings, where we revisit past issues from 20 years ago. One reason why I really love it is because when we think back to 20 years ago and just our mindsets, and I have to, Homecoming is crazy. Yeah, I agree. I have to check myself and my thought processes of 20 years ago. Because, mind you, I didn't have outrageous beliefs like some of these people had, but I did not have the outrage that where if these people would be on television in 2022, i.e. a Julie, i.e. the blonde spiky hair guy, saying some of the things they said back then, today, I didn't have that kind of mindset, but it did not, I don't recall 20 years ago being outraged that they said it either. So I have to check myself as well. Like, we do have to give people the opportunity to grow up and learn because my mind as a 20-year-old is not the same mind I have at 40. So I'm gonna give these people a little bit of grace. A little bit of grace. Thank you, Carly. Bad as in good. Julie is completely out of order. Inga, you know I haven't watched it. I be lying to y'all. I don't mean to. I really, really, really don't mean to. At work, we're trying to tie a bow on a merger. Then we're getting into the middle of our fiscal year where we're looking at interim audits and then just regular day-to-day work. I don't have time. Like, I want to turn my phone on and watch the real world while I'm working, but between conference calls and everything else, I just be working. So I haven't had the chance to watch it, but I am going to watch it, Inga. I am going to re-watch it. But since everybody want to talk about Julie, let's get right into it. So episode 2 of Homecoming picked up where it left off with Julie tiptoeing to Melissa's room like she's some big angry black woman that's going to tear her throat out for speaking to her. I just don't like the way Julie is handling. No, I ain't get the edible again, Dabu. I'm straight sober on the water. I was going to take one, but then I said don't do it. But no, I don't like the way Julie is handling this. Julie says something in a confessional, and I believe this is 100% how Julie truly feels. She said, it's been 22 years. I don't give a damn about this situation anymore. I just want to apologize so they can get over it. So Julie is not sorry. She's on television. I think she forgot that confessionals are a part of the show. I think Julie forgot that. That confessional is how Julie really feels. Julie does not give a damn. Now, Angie, I feel like Julie 100% wrote the letters. If she didn't write them, she definitely okayed her management to do it on her behalf. Julie knows what was said. If she didn't say it herself, she told them what to say. So Julie's whole, I haven't seen a letter. I didn't send it. I don't even know what to apologize for. She can miss me with that. I don't believe that part of her story at all. And where I would respect Julie, if she would just come up and say, look, if I believe Julie's story, if we're going to believe Julie, I would respect her if she would come up in their face and say, look, this was 22 years ago. I don't know what y'all talking about. I didn't do it and I don't care anymore. And I'm not apologizing. Like, take a stand. Right. Julie is lying. She's lying. I want you to take a stand, Julie. Say what you said. Be Nene. I said what I said. Or sincerely apologize. But I wouldn't even want an apology after 22 years. Because in another scene, she apologized to Danny. And I felt like Danny accepted the apology to pacify her. Like, girl, okay, I accept your apology. Now sit down. That's what I feel like Danny did. I wish he would be more like Melissa. Because in Danny's confessional, he's saying Julie doesn't like to have issues lingering over her head. But her apologizing isn't going to erase 2 decades of silence. If Julie was really the type of person that did not like issues looming over her head, we all rewatched that season of Battle of the Sexes. Melissa told you to your face what the problem was. You had 22 years, and then you knew what you did to Danny. You had 22 years to apologize. Julie, if you weren't going to come on this TV show and be sincere, you should have stayed at home. You should have told Paramount Plus to skip over your season because you ain't ready to stand in your bullshit. But see, you thought you was going to come on this TV and give us the Karen tears and we were going to leave you alone. But oh no, man, we ready for the Karens, Julie. We ready. I liked how Melissa said when Julie came tiptoeing, Melissa, can I talk to you? I'm about to take a shower. Maybe tomorrow we could talk. Maybe. I don't know. I like that energy from Melissa. I wouldn't have pacified Julie because, see, Danny, Julie apologized to you. If you come to her sideways, now she gonna cry some more Karen tears about, oh, I apologize, and you accept it and you still don't forgive me. You need to tell Julie in her face, look, I understand your apology, but we still got issues and it's not gonna be erased in 2 weeks. I really wish Julie would just go home because this is not going to be a good look for her. She doesn't know how to maneuver through her past, and I feel like she doesn't know how to maneuver through it because she still believes the shit she believed 22 years ago. Because if you truly have growth and change, you would know how to apologize for the things you did wrong. So I feel like Julie hasn't changed. She probably still believes everything she ever believed about Danny and Melissa. And I'm tired of everybody woo woo wooing Julie. Like, why is it that the person who's offended doesn't have the woo woo woo, but everybody is looking up after Julie? I would let Julie sit in the corner and cry by herself. But I'm all for rehashing things from 20 years ago. I just don't want people getting canceled. I don't want people to get canceled either. But number one, who we gonna cancel from this show? What are they doing out there now that could get them canceled? I don't know, but I don't want Julie to be canceled. But I just feel like she hasn't changed because she's not sincere in her apology, and I don't feel like she's sorry. And I feel like if you said something incorrect 22 years ago and you are a new person, you wouldn't have a problem addressing what you said inappropriately and showing your growth and your change. Julie coming in with yoga pants and a mat trying to look innocent. I don't know how. I don't know. You could tell Julie has been away from TV for a long time because how dare you? How dare you come for your first look? It looked like you just walked off the plane. You're supposed to have your airport outfit together. But I don't know, half of them look a mess because I really don't understand Tokyo. And I'm going to try to respect him and call him Tokyo and not David. But I really don't understand his look. I mean, but to each their own. Julie did have racist issues from 22 years ago. And Inga, I don't think she's changed. I don't think she has changed. I think she just wants us I think she wants us to believe the story she has going on in her mind, but her actions show she didn't change. Because the next day, oh, her and Melissa bonded over eyeglasses. Melissa, keep that same energy with Julie. Be a bitch. I ain't gonna call you a bitch, Melissa. Keep that same energy. Not that, oh, girl, if we would have made 2 years ago, I could have got the hookup on glasses. Fuck them glasses, girl. You ain't hurting for money. I wouldn't give Julie any ends with me until she apologized sincerely. I wouldn't give Julie any in with me until she sincerely apologized. Now you said Jamie won. I don't remember Jamie winning 2 challenges back in the day. But mind you, my memory ain't the best. And put it in the chat what seasons he won of the challenge, and I'll go look at it. I don't remember that guy Jamie at all. I really don't. I don't know. Why does he wear headbands on his eyebrows? Is that Japanese? I don't want to shade no Japanese. I'm not familiar with the culture, but I didn't know Japanese walked around looking like drum majors. I'm like, why does he have on the drum major uniform with the headband and the glasses with no lenses in them? To each their own, sir. If you want to be called Tokyo and you want to look like that, respect. Because I want to look like this and I want respect as well. So, Julie should just say she only cared but about securing the bag at everyone's expense on it. I would respect that with Julie. I would respect that. Like, look, 22 years ago, this was my job. I ain't have no other source of income. I was wrong for saying what I said about y'all, but I needed the money and I was just in it for the money. True enough, I still wouldn't want to fuck with you, but at least you being honest. At least Julie is being honest at this point in time. Now, Inga, you say David is just weird. To each their own. It is weird. It is weird that you want to be called Tokyo. You want to look like that, but we gotta allow people the freedom of expression. And why did David get a whole montage of cooking and chopping onions and avocados? I was like, this was a filler episode. Ain't nothing really go down. By the end of the episode, we're talking about Don't Ask, Don't Tell with Danny and his then boyfriend Paul, who was in the military. That was another thing. Like, I completely forgot about Don't Ask, Don't Tell, because I work on the military base now where we have openly trans people who are allowed to be their authentic self in the open. So I forgot all about that. That is a lot of progress with the military. But that was a time where it was dangerous to just be out in the military. I'm happy we're past that. I hope we are. I'm not in the military to know if they're really past that. But I work on the base and I see progression on the base where I work. They showed Paul's face, which I thought was interesting. I'm assuming he finally signed off on having his face shown. I thought we would never see that, but I'm sure he's probably out of the military by now. He has no worries. But I would like to revisit that story. I would like to. They gave a lot about the relationship and the history of where we were 22 years ago with being gay in the military, but they didn't get into the conversations that the housemates had in the house. So I'm assuming that's what's going to come up next week. And I'm looking forward to this show to progress because it looks like it's going to get juicier. But this was kind of a filler episode to me. They kind of foreshadowed that somebody would be coming in the house. I'm really looking forward to what's going on with old girl Kelly and maybe Jamie. I don't want the whole show to be about Julie and her Karen ways because it's very clear she's not going to apologize for anything. But that was pretty much all I had for what show was that? Homecoming. I can't wait to get into it deeper. Can we talk about Danny? Is it me or does he sound like he slurs his words? What's in his cup? I ain't paid too attention. Now look, y'all. I'm very open and honest on my channel, and I try not to be too open and honest. But when I turned on Homecoming, I probably was already half a bottle into some Stella Rose. You know, I probably wasn't in my right mind. So him slurring his words and I'm watching it, we was in tune. So I haven't picked up on that. I haven't picked up on it, but right now it's too much Julie and Danny, Julie and Melissa. Like, I know I haven't rewatched it yet, but I know there's a lot more issues that have to come down the pipe. Like, can we give Julie a little bit of break? Because she gonna aggravate me. I could tell y'all right now, Julie is gonna aggravate me this whole season. I don't like to see people hurt themselves. But since I know she's okay, I want to see her pass out on the SUV. Like, Julie to me doesn't give me the type that gets blackout drunk like that either, but you really don't know people. Danny may be a drunk. You think so? You think so? It's only episode 2. It looked like all of them might be drunks. The way Julie passed out of that car. Kelly wasn't really in the house 22 years ago. She had a boyfriend and was never home. Yeah, so why is she here? Did y'all notice when Julie was apologizing to Danny, Kelly was getting ready to come outside, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for everything." And Kelly was like, "Ooh, I don't want to be a part of that bullshit," and turned around and went back in the house to talk to David. It's the little things that get me. I was like, "I saw you, Kelly." You was like, "I don't want no part of this bullshit Julie talking about. Let me go back in the house." I saw you, girl. Tokyo wore a do-rag all the time 22 years ago. Guess now it's the headband. It's not my style. Matt was and still is against the LGBT lifestyle. I don't understand why at 40, because these people are probably in their early 40s, my age. I don't understand how at 40 you could be against somebody else's lifestyle. Like, it baffles me. It really does baffle me. Like, these, I don't want to say these people, but it's like the LGBT community isn't doing anything to you. They're minding their own business, but you're at home bothered with their lifestyle. It's upsetting to you, but they minding their business. I just don't get it. And Matt is another one who these people I'm going to assume are intelligent, where you should know where we are in 2022 with how people feel about the LGBT. And if you just want to go all the way back to the 90s, to a time when people still said outrageous things, knowing that we've progressed so much, I personally wouldn't want to come on TV with those views. I just don't get it. I don't. We'll get to drag Matt when he gets to start talking his foolishness. Kelly was very supportive of Danny. I thought the whole house was. I mean, I gotta rewatch it. Because I remember when Paul came, and I don't recall people having an issue with him coming. And I don't understand what being very religious has to do with anything. I'm very religious. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole tonight. I really am not. I don't understand why people believe what they believe when it's way more people out here harming people that I could be offended by than a community of people that is over there doing nothing but minding their business. It's way more people to be offended by than the LGBT. I don't understand it. Even when you put religion in it, the Bible say a lot of shit, but why do we only pick that one marker in the Bible to want to really condemn people with, when all of us can be condemned if we gonna go by the Bible? But I'm not going there, because you can believe whatever you want to believe. Just don't talk the foolishness over here with me, because I'm not here for it. Matt is not down with the gay thing. That's why he didn't go to the club with Danny and the rest. I'm sure he will speak his opinion. Matt was on one of the early challenges too. They need to go ahead and put that channel back up so I could watch all the early challenges, since they don't want to put it on Paramount Plus. I know you didn't say it, Inga. I'm just saying I don't understand. And I don't have the energy for people to quote all the scriptures. I know the scriptures. Just let people think what they want to think over there. I've seen a few episodes of the original season, and Kelly's boring then, and she boring now. I guess so, but I guess they getting a good check. I wouldn't go on TV if I didn't have any growth, spewing the same rhetoric that I was spewing 20 years ago. But it wouldn't be me. Like, if I haven't grown, then I'm just gonna sit at home and be ungrown by myself. I'm not coming on TV knowing where we are in 2022 saying things that I know will get me dragged on Twitter. I'm always going to be supportive, and I'm always going to let people live, because we're going to get into that when we get over to Survivor. You don't always have to wear the shoes to understand what somebody else's shoes feel like. If that makes any sense. Like, I don't have to be LGBT, any of those letters, for me to understand what it feels like and to have empathy for their struggles and to be supportive. But we're going to get into homecoming. We're going to let's get into Survivor 42, because I don't want to be on here talking all night. Thank you, Zaki. They're going to address it with Matt on this season. I'm sure they are. They getting Julie out the way, but it seemed like Julie gonna find some other stuff to another reason to put her foot in her mouth. And why did they skip over Hawaii and Vegas? Like, I wonder what's next. Anybody with their ear to the street with which homecoming city they may do next? Because I really want them to do Hawaii. And I really want them to do that first Vegas with Trishelle and them. I would love for them to do Seattle, but we discussed last week that we ain't going to be slapping white women on TV in 2022. We ain't going to put that back up there. But I agree, Inga. Just have compassion for people and treat people how you want to be treated. Everybody has a struggle. Everybody has a story. Treat people with the same respect you want them to treat you with your own personal issues. Because if you show me a perfect person, if you know a perfect person, show them to me, because I ain't met one yet. Did you see the trailer? She tried to say David threw her out the car. I knew she said something about David. Like, she said David did something to her. I ain't going to address it till I see it. But I have a feeling we're going to get to drag Julie some more throughout the season of homecoming. So let's save some of the dragging for when we see her do some more stuff. Eric, you heard it might be Vegas or Austin. I really don't want to see Austin. We see all the Austin people over there on All Stars. Let them stay over there on All Stars. Let's go back and see Alton and Trishelle. What's the guy named Trishelle thought she was pregnant with? And that's when they start putting the condoms in the fishbowl in the house. Oh, and that's when those two black girls that season were so beautiful. I don't forgot their names. But let's do Vegas. Vegas was real cute. Vegas is on Paramount Plus, but not Hawaii or Seattle or Paris. All the ones I want to see ain't on there, so oh well. But let's jump over to Survivor. Did you all enjoy Survivor Wednesday night? I have a lot to say. I really only want to talk about Arissa and, damn, I'm going to mess her name up, Erelon. I remember Arissa, Adam. They were so gorgeous to me back in the day. I'm going to mess up the second girl name, but but them. I like them over there in Vegas. But back to Survivor. I want to address the powerful statements made at Tribal Council, but then I also want to address the game, because at the end of the day, I watch Survivor for the game. I understand, and I like when we can throw in a real life learning, teachable moments, but I want to talk about the game as well. So pretty much Survivor in the beginning was boring. Let's move on to I guess it was the immunity challenge / reward, where they break them up into two teams. And because, Chanel went home last week, that was an easy vote. So they're in two teams. I ain't take no notes, y'all, so I done forgot who was on who team. But one team was all men. The other team was all the rest of the ladies with Jonathan. So that's easy to remember. All the other guys over here, Jonathan over here with the girls. Cool. So, oh, y'all put a little bit of tea out there. Vegas was supposed to be next, but there was one person holding it up. Apparently, it's Frank. Is it the Frank from the challenge that I like? That's a hothead. Was he on Vegas? Frank better get his shit together and let us see the Vegas homecoming. Survivor was good, but I was a little disappointed because there was a few cracks in Jonathan's game, and the way he handled Tribal made my eyebrows rise. We saw a Ken. They call the male Karens Kens, or at least that's what they do on Twitter. But we gonna get into that. So at the end of the day, two individual immunity idols, they were doing the surfing on the box challenge, and that water was rough. That was the second time we seen them in rough water. I mean, right after Jeff blew the horn for the challenge to begin, half of the cast was already off. So on the all men side, High won, and on the other side, Jonathan won. All the ladies lost, but Lindsay gave it a good fight. Lindsay impressed me on that surfing box because them waves was coming in. Amazing. So Jonathan was the ultimate winner. So he won the food, which was steak kebabs and stuff like that for his tribe of 5. Now, last season, I can't remember, did they all go to the same camp but still vote separately? I don't recall last season if they went to separate camps, but this season they went to separate camps. All the men are over here. Jonathan and the ladies are over there. It's a different Frank. Oh, well. Lord, I'm going to have to see a picture. I ain't gonna remember which Frank until I see the picture. Is Frank the one Trishelle was messing around with? Because I still ain't figured out his name either. But let's get into the guy's side of the tribal council. Now, the strategies for voting out who they were going to vote out, I thought were perfect. I thought it was great not to go with the easy vote. On the guy's side, the easy vote would have been Romeo. It would have been nobody liked Romeo. Romeo was supposed to go home last week. High at the beginning of the episode was too entitled for me. Like, how dare somebody vote for me? Sir, this Survivor, we could write down anybody's name we want to, and if you get that mad, just write my name down the next time. That's how the game is played. Don't be walking around, you voted for me, you voted for me. Like, sir, you're not the king of the tribe. You can get a vote. And I like that Romeo threw a vote on High because he knew High was spiral. And I'm liking Romeo. I ain't never disliked Romeo. Matter of fact, I really didn't like that Romeo wasn't included in the big alliance. That's where you messed up, Drea. But the hot-headed Frank is San Diego with Zach. Okay. I don't know the Vegas Frank, but Frank out there who was on original Vegas, get it together because I want to see that season of Homecoming. Or can we do the Homecoming without Frank? Does he have to be there? But anyway, back to Survivor. Romeo. Who came up? Omar. Omar said, I'd rather get rid of Roxroy because Roxroy wants to have an all-guys alliance. High wasn't here for the all-guys alliance, and neither was Omar. I'm kind of happy. I wouldn't have wanted to see an all-guys alliance steamroll through all of the women that's left on the show because, mind you, I'm really rooting for Drea. I like Lindsay, and I actually like Tori, and I feel like if Drea and Tori, well, I guess they can't do it now because Tori done took her ass home. But if Drea and Tori could have actually sat down and had a real conversation, Drea will understand that Tori wasn't after her. That was Swati who came up with the idea to let's vote out Drea. And I feel like Roxroy just didn't like Tori so much that Drea couldn't have an open and honest conversation with Tori. But anyway, I told y'all weeks ago, right, that Roxroy doesn't know how to talk to people and he would get on people's nerve. I said that episode 2, when he was bossing people around on making the shelter, I never knew how did Roxroy even get into an alliance. He doesn't know how to talk to people. I thought he was clearly, now that we merged, would be aggravating like Marianne and they would just drag him to the end. This season of Survivor has a problem with keeping the strongest people because Roxroy is no threat in these individual immunity challenges, but I do see that he doesn't know how to talk to people. So Roxroy going home over Romeo did not bother me. Now, I do agree with Mike when High approached Mike about voting out Roxroy. We can vote out Roxroy anytime. If we do it now, the big alliance is going to think we aren't trustworthy. They're going to think that at the first chance, we're going to turn against them because we're willing to turn against Roxroy. They aren't going to understand. I agree with Mike's point of view, but apparently High convinced Mike to let go of Roxroy. I mean, I didn't really care that they voted out Roxroy because he aggravated me too. So then we go to the other side. Now, this is where we learned that Jonathan does not know how to play the game. He has a good idea, but he maneuvered the execution of his plan all wrong. Jonathan wants to get rid of people with idols, but his problem is he doesn't know how to communicate his plan in a survivor way. Jonathan's plan could have went off without a hitch. One, it probably would have swayed either way once Drea saw Roxroy sitting on the other side. But he approaches Drea like, I want to get rid of people's with idols. So let's vote out Marianne tonight. Why would you tell somebody with an idol that you want to get rid of people with the idol? It's very obvious if they really wanted to get rid of Drea and make it crystal smooth, they didn't even have to bring in Tori. It could have been Lindsay, Marianne, Jonathan, put all their votes on Drea, and then bam, Drea would have went home. And all they had to do was tell Drea, relax. It's an easy night. We vote now Tori. Relax. But see, Jonathan doesn't realize that Drea and Tori have beef. And when Lindsay tries to tell him, look, don't put the vote on Marianne if you want to be able to use Marianne's idol in the future, put the vote on Tori because Drea and Tori have beef. Jonathan can't listen. He the big bad man in charge. So whatever I say, I know what I'm talking about. How you know? You don't talk to Drea. You don't talk to Tori. So Jonathan's survivor game is flawed. It's clear he has the idea, but he doesn't have the execution. Because then he goes to Marianne and tells Marianne the same thing. Marianne, I want to vote out Drea because she got all the idols. I want to flush out an idol tonight. The vote is Drea. You cool? Marianne cool with it, but in the back of Marianne's mind, well, shit, if it's Drea's idol this week, is my idol next week. So I was kind of here for the plan for Drea to go home. Now, mind you, this is before we see the second tribal council. As a Black woman, I'm sitting at home like, okay, Drea and Roxroy going home. That's some good ass survivor gameplay. In my mind, the visual didn't click for me at first. I thought it was good gameplay to get rid of Roxroy because he's aggravated. He doesn't know how to talk to people. Get rid of Drea. Drea has all the advantages in the world. Like she has 4 advantages. And y'all only know about 2. Well, I guess Lindsay knows about 3, but nobody knows about her Ask Me Idol. I keep forgetting the name of it, but she can ask somebody for their idol and they have to give it to her if it's in their pocket. So they don't even know about her Ask Me Idol. So I thought getting rid of Drea was a great game move. And I love Drea. I want her to win. But let's get into the visuals. I want to read your comments really quick. Then I want to get into, I said what I had to say about the game. Before we got to that last tribal council, I thought getting rid of those two people were great game moves. Let's get into this before we get into the last tribal council. Mike seemed pissed at the preview for the next episode. He wants to get high out. I don't know about the previews. They seem, you know how the edit can be kind of iffy. I think, why would Mike want to get rid of High when he just went along with High's plan? Mike could have ruined it all by telling High, look, I don't want to get rid of Roxroy. Was it a mistake? Put it in the chat real quick. Was it a mistake for the first team to get rid of Roxroy and not Romeo? Because I feel like what makes what happened at Tribal Council so good, I feel like that powerful group of 8 or 7, they're no longer. The game is reset. And that's what I like. I don't like watching Survivor when I can see the snowball. Like, okay, it's Romeo. Hi. I like that now the game is reset. And we'll talk about the reset of the game at the end. The entire alliance was willing to vote out both Roxroy and Drea. So it was never truly an alliance. And I don't understand why y'all willing to get rid of Roxroy and Drea. I guess Jonathan had the immunity necklace. But why haven't we got rid of Jonathan before this? I'm going to save that thought. That's what I was saying. He didn't fully think it through. Right. Jonathan just wanted to have his plan, but he didn't think it through. It was very dumb to tell the two people with idols, I want to flesh out idols. Because now they just going to go back and tell Mike, Jonathan wants to flesh out idols and you the last one with an idol. So good luck. Good luck, Mike. And Drea getting ready to steal Mike's idol. I can't wait. I hope she steals it at the very next tribal council. Just go ahead and steal it and put it in your pocket, Drea. Yeah, I was saying if they're fleshing Drea's idol, then Marianne is going. Marianne is next. Are Marianne and Drea now a little bit safe? Because they both played their idols and they're, they don't know about Drea's Ask Me idol. Are they now a little bit safe because they aren't as powerful with those idols? Or does Marianne and Drea still go home next week? I feel like Drea still goes home next week, but we'll see. To be honest, I got the hiccups. I think Drea would have went home anyway because I feel like Drea would have played her idol even if she didn't bring up the racial issue. I got something to say about that. We about to get into that after this very last comment. I noticed the whole second tribal thing as soon as Rox walked over to the jury. I was like, oh, this isn't going to look good. Let's get into it. Roxroy walks over to the jury. He's sitting there. Every single person on that second tribal council came into tribal council like, every single person, every single one, not just Drea, not just Marianne, everybody was like, why the fuck is Roxroy sitting in the jury? So I think the initial shock for everyone is that they were all in this big alliance together. Not Tori. Everyone just expected to see Romeo. And if Romeo would have been sitting there, Drea would have been sitting over there too. I guarantee it. But let's get into what happened at Tribal Council. I'm not upset at Drea for pointing out how she felt. Because at first I thought she was thinking, well, damn, this is what's going through my mind. I'm thinking Drea is thinking, well, damn, Roxroy is in my alliance and they already backstabbed one alliance member. Shit, they might backstab me. The racial issue still didn't click in my mind because my mind is still on game. I'm still on Roxroy was a good game vote. Drea is a good game vote. When Drea says, historically in Survivor, the black people can only make it so far. And she says, for me to look and see Chanel, Roxroy, and maybe me going out 1, 2, 3, that's a problem. I'm playing my idol tonight. And then Drea got really emotional. She started to cry. And it could just be Angie, the Leo in me. People have said I'm kind of unemotional. Like, it's very hard it take a lot for me to cry. I didn't get all the tears, but I understood what Drea was talking about. It was Marianne for me, and y'all know I can't stand Marianne. But when Marianne came in and swooped in at the end and started to explain that certain people's 1 in 18 is not the same odds. Like, for me, my 1 in 18 is less because as an African American, I got to maneuver a certain way. I can't be the angry black girl. I can't be too cunning. Like, I have to maneuver a certain way. One, just so I won't be perceived as a threat in the game. And two, I'm worried about what people think about me at home. I don't want to be a sellout. When Marianne said it, I said, girl, you said it all. You summed it up. You spoke it clear. And what pissed me off, because they were talking about unconscious, like just seeing 3 black people over there makes me want to make a statement. Now, I didn't think they really needed to make a statement. Y'all called it out. I really didn't like that they both played their idol, but we'll get to that. But what I didn't like is, oh, here come Jonathan. I'm not a racist. Nothing about me wanting to vote out Drea and her idol was racist. And I 100% believe it wasn't no racist intent because, like I said, my black ass is sitting at home thinking these are 2 great game moves. So I'm like, Jonathan, no one is calling you a racist. Why are you taking this moment when they're trying to educate you and be so defensive if you aren't racist? Like, just shut up and listen. Just shut up and listen. And that's why we can't progress, is because instead of people listening to the African American, black, whatever you want to identify yourself as, instead of listening to our point of view and how we feel and understanding, you have to go inward and explain how you're not that. We were never saying anything that anybody did on this show was racist. It's just hard to see black on the jury. Now, mind you, we did see white before the jury even started. We could make a point on that. But it was a couple of weeks ago, you all pointed it out in the chat that we are in season 42 and we only have 1 black female winner and only 4 black male winners. That's a problem for me. That's a problem for me because I always was the one who's like, oh, the Survivor don't need no cookout. Survivor had plenty of black winners and they made it. But no, I don't think Survivor is as bad as Big Brother. I don't. But we do need more black people to stick together on this show so we can have some more black winners. But Jonathan ruined the moment with his, oh, I'm not racist. And what really pissed me off with Jonathan, and the one thing I did not like about this tribal council, is instead of being able to state our real life feelings amongst the conversation, we never got back to the game. Like, yeah, they had a whole little community meeting on who we gonna vote out, and they both played their idols, whatever. I wish they would have said, okay, we said what we had to say, now let's vote. Let's get back to the game. Let's roll the dice. Drea, are you really gonna play this idol? Marianne, I feel like Marianne, when she said what she was gonna play her idol. But let's see. Are is Jonathan, Lindsay, Tori, are they still, after this powerful moment, still gonna write Drea's name on the card? Because when we have this whole community think, let's come together and figure it out here. We ain't gotta write no names down. It takes you out of the game. Cause I feel like they would have still wrote Drea's name down and forced old girl to play her idols. Let's see if she play it or not. I wish they would have went back to the game after they had their real life moment. I don't like how Jeff said we could just talk right here and figure out how we want to vote right here. And the first thing out of Jonathan's mouth, we could figure it out as soon as Drea and Marianne get rid of these idols. Because until they get rid of these idols, I ain't got nothing to say. That lets me know right there Jonathan was gonna still vote for fucking Drea. Now, mind you, as he should. As he should. Because there was nothing racist about what he wanted to do. It's a game. And at the end of the day, you can't come out here every vote, because I'm saying next week, you can't come out here with this same speech. Oh, I still don't want to see 3 people on the jury. But girl, one of y'all gonna have to go because only one of y'all can win. And you don't get no free ticket to the end just because of the optics. Now, mind you, I think Drea is gonna be savvy with her advantages and will make it to the end. I hope. I pray for you, girl. I want you to win. But I don't like how it was like y'all play y'all idol and we could discuss it. No, let's pull everybody card. Let's see who name you gonna write down, and let's see if I really want to play my idol or not. Because I might have just punked you. I still wish they would have got back to the game. I don't think it's fair that they got to have a group discussion and like, oh, well, I mean, of course, Drea and Marianne are safe. They both played their idols. Is Lindsay or Tori? Well, Tori, well, if it's me, let me go get my shot in the dark. I might can be safe. When is production gonna fix the shot in the dark? When is production just gonna give somebody a piece of paper that says safe? Because if we ain't gonna never have nobody be safe, get rid of the dice. Because right now it's a waste of time. Oh, you just reminded me, Zuda. That's what pissed me off too. Because he gonna say that Drea was aggressive. How was she aggressive? She's sitting here crying her eyes out. And instead of you understanding the words that are coming out of her mouth, you're gonna say, well, you were aggressive. What was aggressive? That your plan is no longer going to be able to work because she has an idol? And that you can't even say to her face that you was gonna vote her out. Like they still sitting up here talking about, well, we never said we was gonna vote out Drea, so you don't know if you're gonna be sitting over there like, bitch, don't play with my intelligence. Because if you weren't gonna vote me out, we wouldn't have to have none of this conversation. I appreciated the moment. I appreciated that people revealed who they really are. If Jonathan could ever sit down and listen to a conversation from a Black woman, he would know aggressive is not the right word. It is one of those buzzwords that once you call a Black woman aggressive, it puts a whole nother connotation on her. Like people look at her differently just because you say she's aggressive. What's aggressive about her? That she's better at the game than you, Jonathan? I know that I can't relate to this topic, but there have been people of color who have played Survivor and made it very far, especially in the past 10 seasons. I do think there has been an unbalance with race. I really I really think it was just the observation. Cause like I said, me sitting at home, I ain't had no problem with it being Chanel, Roxroy, and Drea. If I'm saying without that conversation being said, I didn't see no problem with it. I thought that was great game moves. I thought those would have been great votes of blind sides. I didn't have a problem with it. I think it was just the observation that she saw two black people. But then again, I don't want to undercut it. I don't want to undercut. Then don't undercut it, Angie. But I gotta say what I gotta say. It's one thing to have that observation when your hands aren't dirty. But Dre, you voted out Chanel. Like you voted out Chanel, and I'm sure you wouldn't have had no problem voting out Roxroy. So I appreciate the moment, but I just wish they would have went back to the game. I wish they would have gave us the opportunity to see if she really would have played her idol. I believe Marianne really would have. And let me say this: I don't think Marianne was ever going to be the backup vote. I don't think Lindsay would have ever voted for Marianne. But I wish Marianne didn't have, because of a social issue, I wish Marianne wouldn't have had to use her idol to make a political statement. Because now, girl, that statement ain't going to get you no closer to $1,000,000. Is all I'm trying to say. Like, I wish Marianne could have said what she had to say without feeling like she had to bring the game into her political statement, because none of those white people had to. None of those white people had to give up anything except for maybe Tori. I know Tori was like, damn, almost had her. It's a part of the game. The game is social and political. People do have to think about everything. Was Tori shafted? Did Tori get the bad end of the stick in this? I know Tori wanted to be understanding. She's all on Twitter and everywhere, or maybe she's not on Twitter, but making statements about how she wanted to be understanding. She wanted to be empathetic of Marianne and Drea's situation, and she wanted to learn from the words that they were saying. But I'm sure she ain't want to learn at the cost of $1,000,000. That's Let me move on before I go down a rabbit hole I ain't want to go down. Jonathan was acting the most in trouble. Yeah, it's a game, and what he said is true, but still listen to what they have to say. No, Jonathan didn't have to say anything. Jonathan made what Marianne and Drea had to say about him by being adamant that he's not racist when no one called you racist. No one even said them being voted out was racist. They just said they didn't like the optics of seeing three black people sitting in the jury, and they wanted to make sure that they weren't going to be the third one sitting up there. So they were willing to spend their idols to make sure it wasn't them. No one said Jonathan is racist. He wants to get rid of people with idols. No, Jonathan, you had a very good game move. You executed it very badly, but you had a great game move. Let's get rid of some people with some idols. It just was unfortunate that, because I really feel like if the first team would have voted out Romeo, the second tribal council would have looked a lot differently. It's just that the first team wanted to blindside Roxroy so bad, it kind of turned the second tribal council into something else. And unfortunately, Tori had to pay a high cost for white America to sit there and listen to that conversation. I just wish they wouldn't have had to use their idols to make a statement. Honestly, at the end of the day, they flushed two idols unnecessarily just for Tori to go. That's what I've been saying, Zuda. At the end of the day, Jonathan got everything he wanted. At the end of the day, he just wanted to blindside and get rid of one idol. He got rid of two because of High and Mike and them voted out Roxroy. So yeah, I mean, what is Jonathan crying about? You got two idols out the game. Now you didn't want Mary Ann, so I don't think Mary Ann would have ever used that idol on anybody else outside of her. Y'all think Mary Ann would have spun that idol on somebody else on that orange team? I don't think so. So I don't know why they was thinking, oh, let's say Mary Ann idol. And that wouldn't have been so messy if Tori would have stayed. I And I like Lindsay. It's a lot of people that don't bother me this season. Lindsay is one of them. Even though I would have rather Lindsay go home so Drea's amulet would be more powerful. Like one of them, hi Drea, Lindsay, somebody got to go home for this amulet to be more powerful. But I agree. Production, y'all fix everything else. It's not beneath you to put safe in that jar 6 times so somebody could be fucking safe once. Just once. And this would have been the cherry on top. Now, yeah, somebody, Lindsay or Tori was gonna have to bite the bullet for them voting out Roxroy. It's the game. It's just the game. But I would have loved to see somebody's shot in the dark work. It really pisses me off. Like, this is why Jonathan has always rubbed me the wrong way. I watch the white supremacists be rooting for him. White supremacists just gonna root for everybody white. So having a white supremacist root for you doesn't mean that you want to be affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. I don't know Jonathan outside of him on this show. I don't want to go all the way to the right over there to white supremacy, but he did show that he doesn't have any empathy, care, or understanding the way he acted in tribal council. He's very selfish. And instead of taking the opportunity to listen, even if you had nothing intelligent to say, you could have sat there and said nothing. Jonathan could have sat there and said nothing. I really do wish that in Survivor it could be game first and still have these conversations once or twice, but game triumphing overall. Try that word. I agree with you, Zuda. I agree with you. I don't mind a real life conversation, but after that conversation is over, get your ass up and go vote. I don't like that Jeff spent it to where we could just talk about it right here. No, Jeff, we want to write this shit on a piece of paper and we want to pull everybody card and see what they gonna do. Because it would have been fucked up. It would have been fucked up for Drea to ask Marianne for her idol. Instead of playing her own, she could have been like, well, Marianne, you got an idol, give it to me, girl. That would have been messed up. But now she really has to play it right with Mike. Does Mike keep his idol on him or does he have it buried somewhere? Because she has to make sure the idol is on him. See, what Drea needs to do, she needs to next week be like, Mike, I heard it's going to be you. They trying to get rid of people with idols. So we just lost our 2 idols last week, me and Marianne. You better bring your idol to tribal council. And then no matter what, Mike ain't even got to be the vote. Ask him for his idol and put one in your pocket, girl. That's what you got to do, Drea. You got to hurry up and get Mike's idol. Because Mike known for losing his idol too. Jonathan's plan didn't make sense. Tori voted for him during the Lydia vote. She has been killing it in the right. Why wasn't she the backup vote? I don't understand. Maybe it's some unconscious racism. You know, instead of you unconscious. Like maybe it's like, well, if I can't get Drea and Marianne sitting right there, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Mike thought it all the way out. I don't want to put unconscious racism on him. Like I said, I don't know the man. But it would have been, I don't understand why Tori was not always the plan. Like, she's won 2 immunities back to back. She has voted. She's never voted with the group. Um, and then Jonathan could have just came together with his orange team and said, "Look, let's just put it on Drea, and if it's not Drea, if she play her idol, then Tori goes home because Drea's gonna vote for Tori." That that would have been the smart thing to do, but you know what they say about the men with the muscles. Sometimes they have muscles and no brains. I don't know. The opposite of Big Brother, 2 black winners in 27 seasons. That them odds, 5 out of 42 and 2 out of 27 equally. And who's the two? I thought Xavier was the first. I guess we counting Tamar. We really counting celebrity. I am. Okay. Honestly, I kind of did feel bad for Tori. If she had gone in any other trial, it would have been fine. But for her to go because of this is unfortunate. It is unfortunate, but shit, somebody got to go home. Let's not act like somebody ain't got to go home. But I wished Tori and Drea could have actually worked together, sat down, had a conversation, and trusted each other, because I actually never had a problem with Tori in this game. I really liked Tori. It made me look at Jonathan as a fragile man. I mean, I guess. Yeah, his ego is fragile. But it made me look at Jonathan for exactly what he said. He seems more selfish than fragile to me. Like, he just wanted to make sure, oh, we talking about racism? Let me make sure everybody in America know I'm not racist. But sir, we weren't talking about you. He just seems very unaware and very selfish to me. I feel bad for Tori because she really could have been saved, but because of this social issue discussion, she had to lose without feeling bitter or upset. I don't want to take it too far left. Because I do feel like even if Drea wouldn't have spoke up on the social issue, I think everybody was surprised to see Roxroy there, especially everyone who was within the big alliance. And I think even social issue put to the side, I feel even if they would have never had that conversation, Drea probably still would have played her idol, because she, in my mind, I would have thought if they'll do it to Roxroy, they'll do it to me. Social issue to the side. I wouldn't have. I was like, oh, they got Roxroy, they ain't gonna get me. Mm-mm. And Roxroy, I don't care what color Roxroy could have been sitting over there. I feel like just that Roxroy sitting over there, it sparked something in all of them. Because Drea and Mary Ann were not the only two people who were surprised to see them there. Everyone walked into tribal council like this. So everybody was surprised to see Roxroy there. Marianne and Drea's observation just happened to be a little bit different because they were black. And that's it. He's been sitting in the background. He said it himself. I think he's not used to giving direction and getting pushback. He's a fragile man with a fragile ego. Probably so. I guess. I just feel like he was very unaware and selfish and just wanted to make sure he was seen in the right light, no matter what they saying. I ain't racist. I don't know. Because I didn't like how Jonathan was like, I'm not going to discuss anything until they play their idols. It just made me feel like no matter what socially was going on, which social issues outside of the game shouldn't direct the game. I don't know, but it is what it is. You never know what'll come up in tribal council. I just have to wonder if that tribal went first and Drea did get blindsided, does Rockwood still go, or will the same thing happen there too? If Drea's team would have went first and Drea got blindsided, Roxroy is still getting blindsided. One, even if Roxroy would have made the same speech, had the same observation that Drea had and Marianne had round one or round two. Even Roxroy could have spoke all the same words Drea and Marianne said. Roxroy doesn't have an idol. So you can make all the speeches you want to America, you want to, Roxroy. Your ass, it would have been Chanel, Drea, Roxroy. I don't think the outcome would have been the same. It would not have been the same. The only reason Drea isn't sitting over there is because she had an idol. And I also feel like that's the only reason Drea was targeted. I don't think it was for any other purpose, but because she had an idol. And that's a good reason to target people. That's how Shan went home. That's how Nasir went home. They were targeted because they had idols and they wanted to blindside people with idols. We didn't cry about it last season. Oh, hell no. She's playing it for herself as she should. Marianne, I agree. Okay, Tori didn't get shafted. I agree. Drea would have played her idol anyway. I don't think Lindsay and Jonathan were going to vote for Marianne. So Marianne knew that Jonathan told Drea to vote for her. He did do that. So I guess Marianne would have spent her idol too. So she would have played her idol knowing Drea's one vote would send her home. So yeah, even if they, but see, I would have still liked to see who would write whose name down. I still would like to see who would write down whose name. Even if they would, I would have still liked to see it. But I agree. So Tori didn't get shafted. I feel like the same outcome would have happened regardless. It's a part of the game. She just had a social issue be the reason they played their idol. But I agree. They would have played their idol anyway, seeing Roxroy sitting over there. So that was Survivor. A really good episode. Really good talking points. Where do we go from here? Because to me, everything explosion. It's all up in the air. Does Drea just go home anyway next week? Do they vote for Drea next week anyway? Do they be like, oh, she made this big speech in tribal council and she has the jury, so she has to go? Does Jonathan, do we just say, forget Jonathan? He's insensitive. Let's get rid of him next week. Does Jonathan just win out? Does Drea get to successfully steal Mike's idol? When are we going to start playing these extra votes? All these damn advantages and we ain't seen none. I don't understand the point, Survivor 42 CBS. Y'all put in 50 million advantages and nobody plays them. They just get voted out with them, or they just don't spin them at all in the game, or they play them incorrectly. What is the point? Why have all of this stuff if we don't get to have no fun seeing it? I think these remember back in the day, they used to have advantages where here's your advantage. You got to use it by the second tribal council or it don't work. Here's this advantage. Use it by the fourth tribal council or just throw it in the trash. You know, let's get back to some of that and start forcing these people to use their advantages. Or if we're going to do all these shipmate islands or whatever y'all want to call it, walking up the mountain, let's say here's an extra vote. The next time you go to the tribal council, you got to use this extra vote. Or instead of giving people an extra vote, give them some Stella votes. That way, the next time you go to tribal council, you got to steal somebody's vote. Let's do that because this is boring. It's boring. But anyway, that's all I have to give you all. I feel good. I'm still sober. No Stella. No at all. I'm about to go because I have an early morning boot camp. I'm starting back my exercise routines. And so Saturdays are going to be dedicated to early morning boot camps. So I need to go grab something to eat and lay down, wash the makeup off. Y'all, I love these neon color nails. Like, y'all probably going to see me go like this all the time because the nails are popping. But I can't wait to see what happens next week. I'll try to catch up on X on the beach, but if I don't, it's still boring. You know we're going to have a good time with Homecoming and Survivor. Sunday night show, Kitchen Table Talk, with Blissfully Single Bean has been canceled because I will be at Memphis in May having a good time with Lil Wayne on Sunday night. So I won't be on YouTube on Sunday, but Mondays, weekend reality reviews will be up. It will be around 6, 7 o'clock. I'll set up the time. And we have the Housewives of Atlanta to get into on Monday. So I'll probably see you all Monday night. So enjoy your weekend. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, everything at Kiss My Cheeks TV. If this is your first time with the channel, hit subscribe. We have a good time on Friday nights with Stella. Next week I will have my Stella Rose. And I'm gonna have a good topic because I've been writing down a couple of things we can debate because we have to get back to our debates and topics of the week. So I have some good ones that we'll put into play next week. So we will have a good time. So I will see you all later. See you, Carly. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Duda. Boot camp. I need some energy for boot camp, but you got to start. If you're not my age, I'm 43. If you're 43 and younger, go ahead and start some kind of exercise routine. It really does make your body feel better. Like, I've had so much more energy. My knee hasn't been bothering me. Like, I just feel really good exercising. So go ahead and find your little exercise routine. It will make you feel better. So with all that being said, have a great weekend. I'll see you all later. Bye.